So I think I have something of an apology to make to David Cameron, since in a video that I posted not so long ago about drug policy, I called him something like an up-jumped, slapped-ass, Eton-faced runt or something like that. And yeah, I'm sorry for having done that, since the only progress, it seems, towards getting cannabis legalized for medicinal and or recreational purposes in the UK, the only impetus towards that end currently seems to be coming from the Conservative Party, and to a much lesser extent the Green Party. And David Cameron came to power in 2010 off the back of a pledge to, yeah, legalise cannabis. So had I been able to vote in 2010, I would have voted for David Cameron. Certainly. And I wasn't from a conservative background. Well, I am from a conservative background. So, so seeing this guy, David Cameron, head of the Conservative Party for however long, saying very progressive things like, I'm going to legalise cannabis. And I think that, yeah, okay, we just had a war with Labour, and Labour clamping down on magic mushrooms. Then they clamped down on cannabis, making it a Class B drug. I'm like, whoa, Labour, they seem really bad. They've just gone to war with Iraq and Afghanistan, along with George W. Bush, who seems like a sort of very reactionary, right-wing American president. And so our leftists are teaming up with their right-wing. So it's all a bit bloody confusing. But yeah, so anyway, in 2010, I would have voted for David Cameron, and rightly so. And after 2010, I of course ended up on the traditional British left because I voting for the Labour Party and being a card-carrying member of the Labour Party, because I just think it's like, oh, well, Cameron's betrayed everyone. I wanted weed legal. When's that going to happen? But in my naivety back then, I didn't realise, oh, David Cameron's going to come to power, he'll just come Prime Minister and, oh, he can make weed legal like that. No, that's not quite how the real business of politics works. I do understand that now. What Cameron would have been, in essence, doing for most of his career and in the run-up to his career is making it appear palatable to big transatlantic corporate interests, as saying, making arguments of the nature that, oh, the medicinal marijuana thing in Los Angeles, it'll happen there, it'll happen in the rest of the country anyway. This is inevitable. You need to get ahead of this. You need to get ahead of the curve on this. We'll start doing medicinal cannabis research in the UK, and from the back of that, you can start pushing forward licensing infrastructure and different sort of things, getting it in place for the whole rest of the plan, getting things through the House of Lords, because there's corporate interest dominating there, getting things past, Labour Party members in the House of Commons and in his own party, appealing to the less intelligent people in his own party, or the more corrupt ones who are taking backhanders from big business and so on. So it's political gameplay is like, there's only two chambers and they're filled with a few hundred people. People like pharmaceutical companies have billions and billions of pounds at their disposal. Can they bribe a mere member of parliament? Yeah, of course they can. And Tory ministers, can they bribe them with how much money? Loads of it. I mean, that's just an overhead probably for 1 year's business for a pharmaceutical company. Just pharmaceuticals. Not even taking oil into account. Not even taking textiles into account. Just cannabis as medicine. And then, eventually in 2016, under Cameron, the Psychoactive Substances Bill gets through the House of Lords and becomes a Psychoactive Substances Act, right? Exemptions for alcohol products. What does that mean? And food products. Can cannabis be food? Of course it can. Alcohol products, what could that include? Laudanum. Tinctures of alcohol with opium in, or THC in. You can have that. You can drink it. Drugs. Just with the raft of anti-smoking legislation already in place, at the minimum, it's going to make it very, very hard to pass any act through probably a majority non-smoker House of Lords, a non-smoker House of Commons, that any bill appearing to advocate smoking on any level can't have that. But just and Cameron, okay, I'm saying as if David Cameron is more intelligent than Christopher Hitchens. Cameron gets a first at Oxford, Hitchens gets a third at Oxford in the same course, right? Because but David Cameron's been pursuing cannabis legalization his whole life. I think, very likely, and maybe he's very intelligent. I suspect actually he probably is as well. And if he weren't very intelligent, then the Tories and the Conservatives and all the rest of them at the top of the society say, well, we won't have Cameron, I don't think, 'cause he's not the most intelligent among the poshest people. We'll have whoever the most intelligent one among them is. It's not like they have no intelligent people among them. So, Cameron may well be very much, far more clever than Christopher Hitchens, really, in economic and political terms. As really does understand the utility of making cannabis legal for all sorts of reasons. Whereas Christopher Hitchens at 40, knowing basically nothing about it, was I think it should be legal, whatever. I don't know basically nothing about the reasons why it isn't. We don't know much about politics and economics and history. And so knowledgeable, doesn't really know that bit of history though. I think he looked into that more. Just went around attacking Mother Teresa and Clinton and Kissinger and whoever else would have a well-selling book in terms of character assassinations. But yes, I was wrong about David Cameron, very much so, and because I understand that now, I might well vote Conservative. I'd be the joining the edge, wouldn't it? On the country bumpkin look, wouldn't it? My slow actually 29, about right on time, isn't it? Oh, here's the bit where I turn to the right. It seemed the right betrayed me when I was 16. So and I was like, I fucking hate you. And I see what you're doing, alright. I hate them more. They're either clowns on the left, or they're evil. But I think about the right, exactly the same thing. Either evil clowns or clownishly evil. But sorry, Labour Party people think, oh God, just stop cannabis. How can you think that? It'll hurt the NHS if we don't. Aha! NHS is all funded by pharmaceutical contracts, isn't it? And a lot of it's for mental health, trying to make them sicker, because pharmaceutical companies are trying to par off cheap drugs to them, form of antipsychotics mostly, and SSRIs once they get wise to it, if they do. Interesting way of killing the poor, isn't it? Yeah, because it is for the poor, NHS mental health services. It's not for rich mentally ill people. Those just go to a private psychiatrist and pay for a diagnosis. Just this one offers bipolar, they charge 500 quid an hour, or 1,000 or 1,200 quid to get assessed. You pay 1,200 quid for your bipolar disorder. There you go, bipolar, nice label for you. A bit of autism, why not have your kids some autism, mate? And whereas if you're poor and you get mentally ill, get section psychosis, it's schizoaffective, one of two mental illnesses. Anyway, thank you for watching. Bye. Very sorry, Dave Cameron, David Cameron. You're a good egg, I think, and an important egg in history, and a fine British Prime Minister for the things you've done, I suspect. Good chap.